Hello students, welcome to my online class. Today we will read our second lesson from the book Vistas, and name of the chapter is The Tiger King, written by Kalki. The real name of the author was Ramaswamy Iyer Krishnamurthy, who was born on September 9, 1899 at Puttamangalam village in Tanjavur district of Madras Presidency, and today this area is located in Tamil Nadu state. Kalki was an Indian writer, journalist, poet, critic and activist of freedom struggle. The present relation is a satire on the pride and stubbornness of those in power. The main theme of the lesson is that death is inevitable and man in power is ruthless towards wildlife. So, the story may be introduced as the story revolves around a king whose death at the hands of a tiger had been foretold by astrologers when he was born. He tries to reverse the fate spelled out for him, and the author uses thinly veiled satire to walk the readers through the king's attempts, which later prove futile in a manner that makes the readers laugh. The given lesson is divided into five parts, which can be considered as five different episodes through which the story progresses rapidly with time. So let's go through the lesson. At the beginning, the author has asked us a very simple question, that what is the general attitude of human beings towards wildlife? So today, as we have seen that generally people are indifferent towards the wildlife. Nobody care about the life of the wild animals. But as God has given life to all the creatures, so the animals and creatures dwelling in the forests too are free to live. But unfortunately, modern people have made hunting as their hobby and a source of their entertainment. But we must know that preserving wildlife itself is a part of our fundamental duty, which is clearly mentioned in the constitution of the country. Now, this story is about the Maharaja of Pratibandhapuram, who is better known as the Tiger King. It means the main character in the story is the Tiger King, but tiger and king itself are two dominating character in the story. But as tiger has close relationship with the king, or king's life and death is very much closely related to the tiger, so he is better known as the Tiger King. Okay, the Maharaja of Pratibandhapuram is the hero of this story. He may be identified as His Highness Jamindar General Kilidar Major Satyagraha Samhari Maharaja Dhiraja Vishwa Bhuvana Samrat Sir Jilani Jangjang Bahadur MAD ACTC and CRCK, but these names is often shortened to the Tiger King. Thus, at the beginning of the story, the author has introduced us to different names given to the king. Generally, such names are adopted by the king to symbolize his greatness, and sometimes the courtiers or his subordinates used to give such titles to praise the king. So, here are some of the titles by which the king was known by his subjects. These are His Highness, Jamidar General, Kiledar Major, Sat Vyagra Samhari, Maharaja Diraja, Vishwa Bhuvana Samrat, Sir Jilani Jangjang Bahadur. So the real name of the king was Sir Jilani Jangjang Bahadur. But people confer such big titles to their king only to uh, give him a respect and also to appreciate his kingship, his greatness. But this name is often shortened to the Tiger King. But the king loved to be called as the Tiger King. I have come forward to tell you why he came to be known as Tiger King. Now, the author is about to narrate the story why this prince, crown prince, was named as the Tiger King. I had no intention of pretending to advance only to end in a strategic withdrawal. Even the threat of Stuka bomber will not throw me off track. The Stuka, if it likes, can beat a hasty retreat from my story. So here the author confidently expresses that he is much eager to tell us the reason why the king uh, is called the Tiger King. So now he said that no power can stop him from revealing this secret. Right at the start, it is imperative to disclose a matter of vital importance about the Tiger King. Now, the author wanted to uh, express some important information about the Tiger King. Everyone who reads of him will experience the natural desire to meet a man of his indomitable courage. Indomitable here means unconquestable, face to face, but there is no chance of its fulfillment, as Bharata said to Rama about Dasratha. The Tiger King has reached that final abode of all living creatures. Now, everyone who read about the Tiger King develops a kind of desire that they too wanted to see the Tiger King in person. But unfortunately, the author says that this desire cannot be fulfilled because Tiger King is no more. As nowadays we have seen the retelecast of Ramayana on the national television, so here very humorously the author expresses that how Bharata gave the news of the death of Dasratha to Ram. Similarly, uh, the author is also giving us the news of the death of the Tiger King. The Tiger King is dead. The manner of his death is matter of extraordinary interest. It can be revealed only at the end of the tale. The most fantastic aspect of his demise was that as soon as he was born, astrologers had foretold that one day Tiger King would actually have to die. But the manner in which the Tiger King was dead is very interesting to know. So people find it interesting how the Tiger King met his death. So it was said that as soon as the Tiger King was born, astrologers had foretold that one day Tiger King would actually have to die. So there nothing seems to be unique in this prophecy, because every creature who obtain life is sure to decay, perish, and die one day. The child will grow up to become the warrior of warriors, hero of heroes, champions of champions. But so, as the astrologer was summoned at the royal court, then now he is proclaiming how praise will this child gain as he will grow up as a prince and king. So he will become warrior of warriors. So he will be very courageous. He will become hero of the heroes and champions of the champion. But they bit their lips and swallowed hard. But here means further the astrologer finds something inauspicious. So they stopped saying anything. They bit their lips and tried and pretend not to utter any word. But when compelled to continue, the astrologers came out with it. This is a secret which should not be revealed at all, and yet we are forced to speak out. The child born under this star will one day have to meet his death. So now, the astrologers were not in mood to express the secret, but when they were compelled to, then they revealed the fact that this bold, brave child will meet his death one day. At that very moment, a great miracle took place. An astonishing phrase emerged from the lips of the 10-day-old Jilani Jangjang Bahadur, O wise prophets. But as soon as the astrologers were making uh, declaring about the death of the prince, at the same moment a miracle took place. The 10-year-old boy, whose name was Jilani Jangjang Bahadur, he uttered a words and addressed to this astrologer as O wise prophets. These were the words spoken by the 10-year-old child. Everyone stood transfixed in stupefaction. They looked wildly at each other and blinked. But everyone who heard the boy speaking, all were surprised to look at the child, and they started blinking at each other. O wise prophet, it was I who spoke. And then this little child attracted the attention of those prophets who find it unbelievable that even such young child could speak. This time there were no grounds for doubt. It was the infant born just 10 days ago who had enunciated the word so clearly. But now, as that infant has again addressed the wise prophets, so there was no doubt that these words were really spoken by this little child. The chief astrologer took off his spectacles and gazed intently at the boy. So now words of the infant surprised the astrologer. and he took off his spectacles and he looked at the boy without blinking. All those who are born will one day have to die. We don't need your predictions to know that. There would be some sense in it if you could tell us the manner of that death. The royal infant uttered these words in little squeaky voice. Then that infant said that there is no meaning in saying that I will meet my death one day. So who is born will surely meet his death. So there is nothing surprise. But the infant said that it will be more realistic if you tell us the manner of my death. The chief astrologer placed his finger on his nose in wonder. A baby barely 10 days old opens its lips in a speech. Not only that, it also raises intelligent questions. Incredible, rather like the bulletins issued by the War Office than facts. Now, the astrologer was completely surprised as the behavior of the child. He was it To him it seems unbelievable that a 10-year boy can speak so clearly and also raise such intelligent questions. The chief astrologer took his finger off his nose and fixed his eyes upon the little prince. Again, the chief astrologer he looked surprisingly at the prince. The prince was born in the hour of bull. The bull and tiger are enemies, therefore, death comes from the tiger, he explained. Now, the astrologer revealed the cause of his death. He said that as the prince was born in the hour of bull, and since bull and tiger are enemies, so definitely the cause of the cause of prince's death would be a tiger. You may think that Crown Prince Jung Jung Bahadur was thrown into a quake when he heard the words tiger. That was exactly what did not happen. As soon as he heard it pronounced, the Crown Prince gave a deep growl. Terrifying words emerged from his lips. Let tigers beware. But now we are assuming that as soon as the little child has heard that the tiger would be cause for his death, he might feel scared as it was the natural reaction. But that little infant, he reacted amazingly. He growled loudly in a terrifying words and said, let tigers beware. It means the infant was not scared, but he demanded that now it's time for the tigers to get scared. This account is only a rumor rife in Pratibandhapuram, but with hindsight, we may conclude it was based on some truth. So, this kind of stories, this accounts, such kinds of accounts or incidents play a dominant role in the village like Pratibandhapuram. So these stories are very famous, but we have to believe this. Such stories as uh, these were based on some truth. They have a firm background to believe in. So this was the first part of the story where we were introduced to the Prince Jilani Jangjang Bahadur and how the astrologers foretold about his death and how that little infant reacted to the prophecy. Now, moving to the second part. Crown Prince Jung Jung Bahadur grew taller and stronger day by day. So now, as the day passed, The infant grew stronger and taller every day. No other miracle marked his childhood days apart from the event already described. So, as the child was growing, he showed no such unique qualities. Something strange. Only uh, the incident of his birth was amazing, and nothing more strange could be found in his behavior. Means he was growing up like an ordinary boy. The boy drank the milk of an English cow, was brought up by an English nanny, tutored in English by an Englishman, saw nothing but English films, exactly as the crown prince of all other Indian states did. So here the author has emphasized that at that time uh, the importance of English in the life of Indians. So Indian rulers they feel it privileged and pride to adopt English. So we have seen how the boy was provided milk of an English cow. He was brought up, nurtured by the English uh, maid, tutored in English, taught in English by the English people, and was and saw English films only. And like other crown princes, Jung Bahadur were given all the facilities that a royal child must get. When he came of age at 20, the estate which had been with the court of wards until then came into his hands. Now, as the child was an orphan, so all the administration was being carried out by the court of wards. But as soon as this prince attained the age of 20, all the executive powers were given to the uh, prince, and he was crowned as the new king of the kingdom. But everyone in the kingdom remembered the astrologer's prediction. Many continued to discuss the matter slowly. It came to the Maharaj's ears. But as soon as the prince was crowned the king, so now all the subjects they were discussing the death of the king, and all these gestures, all these rumors, all these discussions were slowly uh, came to the Maharaj's ears. Means Maharaja also knew that how his subjects were discussing about his death, how people were worried about his well-being. There were innumerable forests in Pratibandhapuram state. They had tigers in them. The Maharaja knew the old saying, "You may kill even a cow in self-defense." There could certainly be no objection to killing tiger in self-defense. The Maharaja started out on a tiger hunt. So, the forest of Pratibandhapuram were full of tigers. So, the population of tiger in this in the kingdom of Jung Bahadur were prosperous. So, now reacting to the old proverb that even you can kill a cow in self defense, so taking a shield of this proverb, the king started killing the tigers in self defense. The Maharaja was thrilled beyond measures when he killed his first tiger. He sent for the state astrologer and showed him the dead beast. Now, when the king was able to kill his first tiger, then he sent for the astrologer and showed him the dead tiger. It means now this king was much arrogant that uh, after killing the first tiger, and now he wanted to challenge the prophecy made by the astrologer. What do you say now? He demanded. Your Majesty may kill 99 tigers in exactly the same manner, but the astrologer drawled. Now, when the king showed the dead tiger to the astrologer, then the astrologer said that, Your Majesty, O king, you can kill 99 tigers very safely in the same manner, but. And he stopped talking. But what? Speak without fear. But you must be very careful with the 100 tiger. But when the king compelled him to complete his sentence, then he said that you must be very careful with the 100 tiger. What if the 100 tiger were also killed? Then I will tear up all my books on astrology, set fire to them, and I shall cut off my tuft, crop my hair short, and become an insurance agent. The astrologer finished on an incoherent note. But now the king said that what will happen if I will be able to kill the 100 tiger? Then the astrologer became angry and he declared that I will means he will tear all the books on astrology and set them to fire. It means that the astrologer was much confident on his knowledge. Now, as the king has challenged his knowledge, so this priest became out of control and he challenged the king that if you will be able to kill the 100 tiger, then I will tear up all my books of astrology and set them to fire, and I will also cut off my tuft. Tuft, as we is a symbol of knowledge of the priest. Then he said that I will cut off my tuft and crop my hair short, and instead of an astrologer I will love to become an insurance agent. Means I will completely leave my profession. The astrologer finished on an incoherent note. Incoherent means he became very absurd. He rudely talked to the king, as the king was challenging his knowledge and his prophecy. So here the king wanted to wanted to prove his prophecy false, and even the priest is much confident that he will tear up all his books on astrology when the day when king will be able to prove him false. So this is the end of the second part, and we will continue our third part in our next lecture. Till then, take care. Goodbye.